Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are unpacking a massive shift in the AI landscape. OpenAI just dropped their latest flagship model, GPT-5.6, and it is now fully integrated into Microsoft 365 Copilot. So if you're using Microsoft tools at work, the engine running your daily workflows literally just got a massive swap. We're going to break down exactly what this means for your everyday productivity, how the complex routing works behind the scenes, and what developers need to be updating right this second.
But before we dive into the technical upgrades, we kind of have to address the elephant in the room. If you follow AI news, you've definitely seen the headlines from TechCrunch and Bloomberg asking if Microsoft and OpenAI are, drifting apart due to rising AI costs. Today, we're going to impartially look at both the new technical reality of this integration and the corporate strategies that are driving those big headlines.
So here is our agenda for the breakdown. We're looking at the new preferred model, Copilot app upgrades, under-the-hood routing, developer and admin checklists, and finally, the broader Microsoft and OpenAI partnership. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the new preferred model, and understanding the July 2026 announcement.
Now, the absolutely crucial word to pay attention to here is preferred. OpenAI announced GPT-5.6 as the new preferred model for Microsoft 365 Copilot, replacing the old default. And this is key, preferred does not mean a strict exclusivity agreement or a monopoly. Microsoft actually uses internal traffic splitters that constantly evaluate your request's complexity, your specific tenant's configuration, and fallback policies before it ever commits to a model. Basically, GPT 5.6 is just your new frontline default for standard interactions.
Moving to Section 2, Copilot App Upgrades Explained. Let's see what these tangible changes actually look like for you.
Because while the underlying routing change is the same across the board, it behaves a bit differently depending on the app you're in. In Word, GPT 5.6 is now handling structural reorganization and tone adjustments in a single pass, which is way more reliable. In Excel, spreadsheet analysis gets optimized parsing. That means formula generation and data cleaning are happening with significantly less correction overhead. PowerPoint is finally benefiting from vastly improved visual asset alignment, giving you consistent slide structuring without you having to constantly fight the template overrides. And over in Cowork, cross-team collaboration is streamlined with automated status aggregation that actually remembers the context of your multi-term workflows.
But really, the main metric of success here isn't just raw generation speed. It's a drastic reduction in prompt iterations. OpenAI has stated this model delivers way more useful work per token. For us, that simply means reaching a production-ready draft with so much less back and forth. You're just going to spend less time tweaking your prompts to get the output you originally wanted.
All right, Section 3, under-the-hood routing, or what I like to call the traffic cop analogy.
Think of Microsoft as a traffic cop standing in an intersection. When you hit Enter in Copilot, Microsoft is accessing these models directly through the standard OpenAI API. Step 1. The traffic cop evaluates how complex your request is. Step 2. It checks your tenant configuration and safety fallbacks. And finally, Step 3. It routes the traffic. If your request is way too heavy for the base model, that routing layer actually diverts it to an alternative model to make sure you get the best result without crashing the system.
And this is exactly how that internal split works in practice. Most of your standard, everyday workflows are going to hit the GPT 5.6 base model, which is super optimized for token efficiency. But if you drop in a massive data set or ask for some really complex multi-step reasoning, you trigger the GPT 5.6 Soul variant. Soul is their frontier model built for heavy computational loads. You might see slightly higher latency, sure, but the trade-off is a massive gain in accuracy for those really complex tasks.
Which brings us to Section 4, developer and admin checklists. If you manage a network or build extensions, you need to take action right now.
Here is your direct action checklist. First up, developers building custom Copilot extensions absolutely must update their prompt templates. Because 5.6 needs fewer refinement cycles, your old system instructions might actually overcorrect now. Second, test those prompts against the GPT 5.6 Soul routing. Complex queries that used to trigger fallback models might route straight to Soul today, totally changing your response structure and latency. Third, IT admins, keep a close eye on your token usage dashboards in the Azure Admin Center. Fun fact, companies often leak up to 20% of their API budget just because they missed the jump in token length during model upgrades. Higher quality usually means longer responses, which directly hits your monthly spend. And lastly, validate your compliance filters. Just because a model has preferred status doesn't magically override your tenant-level security controls.
And finally, Section 5, the Microsoft OpenAI partnership, looking at the wider industry context.
We have been seeing a really fascinating dual narrative lately. As impartial observers, we've read reports from Bloomberg and TechCrunch highlighting a broader industry trend where tech giants are trying to curb their massive AI expenses. According to these reports, Microsoft has actually started deploying its own in-house MAI models to handle a certain percentage of user prompts in apps like Word and Excel, strictly as a cost-saving strategy.
But then, right on the heels of that, we see the counter-narrative. By launching GPT-5.6 as the preferred model, OpenAI very forcefully reaffirmed their foundational status inside Copilot. This messaging, which was backed up by public support from Microsoft's president of Copilot, really seems designed to dispel any market rumors about a fractured relationship. It proves the OpenAI API is still a primary driving force, delivering value to millions of users. So looking at both of these angles neutrally, what is the actual reality here? Well, the reality is that Microsoft is maintaining a highly dynamic multi-model strategy. Naming GPT-5.6 the preferred model is a deliberate technical and commercial routing decision to give users top-tier performance. At the exact same time, developing in-house AI models is just a really smart infrastructure decision. We're watching a massive enterprise balance peak premium performance from their partner against the harsh operating costs of running a global AI network.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to ponder. We know for a fact that GPT 5.6 is bringing incredible, tangible upgrades to Microsoft 365 right this second. But as AI infrastructure costs continue to surge across the whole industry, can this delicate tightrope act, balancing premium partner models with in-house cost-cutting alternatives, actually hold up as AI continues to scale? It is a fascinating dynamic to watch. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this gives you a much clearer picture of the AI engine driving your daily work.